அன்பு நிறைந்த நெஞ்சம் தனிலே அறிவு நிறைந்திருக்கும். அறிவு நிறைந்த நெஞ்சம் தனிலே ஆண்டவன் குடியிருப்பார். இன்பம் நிறைந்த நெஞ்சம் தனிலே இரக்கம் நிறைந்திருக்கும். இரக்கம் நிறைந்த நெஞ்சம் தனிலே இறைவன் குடியிருப்பார். கல்வி நிறைந்த நெஞ்சம் தனிலே கனிவு நிறைந்திருக்கும். கனிவு நிறைந்த நெஞ்சம் தனிலே கடவுள் குடியிருப்பார். மேன்மம் நிறைந்த நெஞ்சம் தனிலே வீரம் நிறைந்திருக்கும். வீரம் நிறைந்த நெஞ்சம் தனிலே விமலன் குடியிருப்பார். விமலன் குடியிருப்பார். விமலன் குடியிருப்பார்.
Happy evening to you all. On behalf of Bala Mandir, a warm welcome to all of you. This is a joyful occasion, a wonderful evening. Our coming together to meet and interact and discuss about the crowdfunding campaign. We start with campaign that just concluded. And we just wanted, on behalf of Bala Mandir, before anything else, a big thank you to all the volunteers who helped raise about 1 crore of rupees through the crowdfunding campaign. So for various reasons, many of the volunteers who helped us raise this kind of money were not able to be here. So we are recording this entire event so that all those who were not here can later, look at the video and follow what was going on here. A couple of our classmates who were volunteers last year were not able to actually actively participate as volunteers, but they helped us raise money. 2 of them are here, T. N. Shankar and Srinivasan. So I thank them for being part of this. So I'll quickly talk about the crowdfunding campaign this year. Last year we did this crowdfunding campaign through Fuel a Dream, who helped us with the platform, etc. So and this year, after our experience with Fuel a Dream, we said that we should build our own platform and do it ourselves rather than taking a third-party help. For various reasons, including the fact that we thought we can also save whatever commission that we had to pay or the charges that we had to pay. Now, in this for this, I would like to call Venkat Chinaya, who's here, and recognize him as the person who helped us do it. Venkat, please come here. See, when PN suggested this idea of our doing it, I had my own reservations because I thought, in the time that was available, we may not be able to complete and then, do. And also I had my own other doubts about whether there will be, some issues because it involves people paying money. And you can't, piss off somebody who's coming to donate. And, if there is a problem, they're likely that they may not come back. All those concerns were there. But thanks to Venkat.
Thank you, sir. Sorry.
Thanks to Venkat, there was no major problem. And nobody actually, came and went back without donating as far as I know. So thank you so much.
And it's a teamwork.
So you want to say a few words about?
It's okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity offered. That's it. Yeah. Thank you very much for the opportunity offered. Thank you, Narajan sir. It trusted me a lot. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, Nikhil.
Okay.
And Ravi, I was thinking Venkat has been a volunteer for 2 years.
Yeah, Venkat is also a volunteer this year, and he was a volunteer last year.
I was not able to make more this year because we got held up and I was unable to canvas. It was round the clock we have been working, sir, for your information. Narayan sir, Ravi, me, everybody. Last minute, sir. No, we made everything the last minute.
Yeah, that's you really pulled it off, and thank you so much for that. So we will keep improving as we go along. Next year we will do a better job. So this year the other thing was that we also raised money through US donations. because there is, unlike last year, by now Bala Mandir USA had been incorporated, and people could donate from the US. So that also happened. So we have been discussing what we should do going forward as far as this crowdfunding is concerned. So we have learned a few things, like in terms of how to improve, the user experience, etc., which I think we'll do. And the other thing is, as we have been communicating, even though we have raised about 1 crore of rupees and maybe 20-30 lakhs from the US too, the requirement is much more. So we would like all of you to, get involved in more ways than just donating and, volunteer your time, because we have been talking about the programs that we do, like happy reading and things like that. So crowdfunding is going to be an annual exercise, is what we are thinking about now. And through the year, we will be approaching donors for raising money. And it's not only for the existing number of children, which is about 1,450. We have plans of expanding to 6 or 7 more districts in Tamil Nadu, which means funds requirement will keep increasing. So I will now ask PN to make a small presentation. So I'll thank you all and welcome once again for this lovely evening.
So thank you, Ravi. So this is just a picture of all our social workers. You can see that many pictures are not very sharp. And actually that is the reality, because not every social worker has got the best phone around. This is pictures taken by them while they were there. And I think it captures in many ways what we are doing. Of course, we've been doing this now for the last couple of years. The process is reasonably well set. This year,
it is amiss of me not to talk about the back-end support that I got from Bala Mandir staff, Sangeeta, Sulochana and others. So as a token of our appreciation from Bala Mandir, we would like them to come and accept a small gift.
this is from the volunteers, actually, not from Bala Mandir.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's not from Bala Mandir, it's the volunteers who are here. So they literally worked 24/7 and made sure that everything was done in time, because they had to read the data, upload and reconcile with the bank, so that the volunteer the donations as they come in, the numbers against the volunteers keeps getting updated in time. Thank you so much, Sangeeta, Sulochana and others. Thank you so much.
So just, you might not be recognizing those two people. Sangeeta and Sulochana everybody knows. But this is Naveen Kumar. Naveen joined us as an intern. And now he was referred by Dr. Suchitra, whom we all know very well. And now he is working as an intern in our accounts department. So Kritika is also, she's the daughter of one of our employees. And there is a connect for Bala Mandir for long term. And both of them, all 4 of them, we knew that this is going to be a tough time where they have to do a lot of entries, a lot of things. So they pulled it off and they kind of got all the things done. Thank you very much. So it's a gift voucher of 1,000 rupees which we have given them from Amazon. Okay, now what I wanted to do was to take you through some of the, see, we had all these videos available. Many of you may not have seen them because they were available on the net, but there were 10 of them. And then you do tend to have you are busy with things. So we are going to show at least 6 of them to you and talk about the relevance of that and how we are now looking at the kinship care program. And the reason why this is relevant right now is that we need to continue to communicate to the larger group as to what is kinship care. We are still evolving, learning. 2.5 years back, whatever concept we started, actually the concept remains almost the same. We did it, this was like we did a 3D model And that 3D model, even today, after 2.5 or 3 years, remains the same. But a lot of detailing and improvements have taken place over the years. And now we are realizing that kinship is actually a summation of all the experience which you have had in Bala Mandir, in all the other units of Bala Mandir. So it's to do with a child, right from a small child growing up to older child, all the problems, all the issues which are there. So it's all about parenting. So, go to the next slide. Go to the next one. Next. Okay. We all know that... next. No, one more. Yeah. No, go back. We all know about the parenting, importance of parenting. We have been in... we all know that this is the most important part. And we are more and more realizing that in kinship, what we are doing is all about parenting. And what happens is, the active involvement of both the parents is essential. And when you have a, because both of them offer a unique perspective, they serve as a role model in different ways. There are two different perspectives that they bring. And they create a secure and a stable environment that fosters child's self-esteem and overall growth. In kinship, there is only in all our kinship care program, because they have lost one child, one parent, there is a more pressure, and this is where the parenting is what we are trying to reinforce all through. Now we know that bringing up one or two children is a huge challenge. We all have experienced that. Here we are talking about 1,400, 1,500, it will go to 3,000 parents. The children. It's a big challenge. And how do we scale it up? So this parenting at scale is what we are now talking about as the concept of kinship care. So it's not one or two. So what we need to do when you do anything in scale, you need to standardize. You need to make things. So today, if any of our parents don't conform to our standard, we actually say, sorry, we have to move out. Okay, so we are also rejecting parents. It's not that 100% parents are, there are exits from our program due to various reasons. Today in the subcommittee meeting, we did discuss a few of them. But we are exiting because we are now talking about scale. And scale is what is important. Because, why? Because in our 75th year, we talked about every child matters. So every child matters, so every child, not only in Bala Mandir, but outside matters. And through kinship care, we feel that we are doing a big revolution, and it can cause a major impact on the society. So a small one unit, even if it's an excellent unit, some 20, 30 children, 50 children, is not going to have the same impact as something like 2,000 odd children. So we are talking about positive parenting at scale with individual child care. Now, you can't do this as a standard thing, so you need to do a individual attention, and it has to be done that way. So every initiative in kinship care is actually to strengthen the parenting practice for the child. So that's a small change. It's not a big change, but it's just a mindset change that we are talking about it as a parenting at scale. So obviously it begins with the surviving member. So one parent is there, that parent has to be in the right mindset. So if that parent is also not in the right mindset, then the children are going to suffer a lot. So definitely to start with, counseling, sharing best practice, building trust, encouraging the parent. So you will see subsequently when we talk about how confidence building has happened in some of the mothers. The mothers who were 2 years back, what they were today and what they are today, there is a big difference. Niranjan has experienced some of them firsthand, but he will try to, some of his videos will help us to understand what some of the impact which has happened in that thing. So our mother is the first one to be empowered. And then we are also finding that the kinship care is very widespread need. It's needed across. Because we are also finding that the impact is now very well established, even though we are doing an impact study, and hopefully we will have a quantified data on that. But our feeling about this is we are making a huge impact. So now we need to go up and scale it up. The good thing is today we have got the encouragement from the two crowdfunding campaigns that let's do it. Okay, even if we may not be having all the money, but we can still take some venture out and do it. It only costs about 20,000 rupees per child. And any additional rupee which we get is going to enable us to fund more children. And more children being helping is definitely going to be good for the society, good for the state, good for everything. So we are looking at this. The next 6 slides are going to be all case studies which which are there. Our hope is that we will be communicating this through mailers to many of the people because they may not have read it in the past. There is also a big opportunity not only for donation but also for volunteering, because we are able to keep this cost to 20,000 because so many volunteers are involved. Today Sharda was telling us that a total of 850 people have been involved as volunteers in our program. Now that's a huge number. 850 people have come out of their comfort zone and have said, I will spend time in helping a child. Okay, that is the power which we have got as a country. See, we were interacting this morning, and there are people, other communities or other cultures. There are other places where everything you measure by money terms. Okay, there are people who cannot understand. We had to spend a lot of time explaining this morning that a volunteer doesn't get anything. The volunteer doesn't even pay for the conveyance to come in most cases. He was repeatedly asking us, how can people spend time without getting any money? Now, the same problem I have encountered when I have dealt with Westerners. And but today, when it comes to whether it's a Bala Mandir USA or Bala Mandir many of our activity, kinship care today has no management cost. Every rupee goes to the final child. Directly or indirectly, it goes to the child directly. So this is a huge change in the mindset. It happens only because we have got volunteer support. And volunteer support is quite extensive all across. And this is what we have been able to make this impact. Yeah. So this is the, this is the first story is about, we all know that suddenly when there is a death, the mother just doesn't know what to do. Especially in this case, 3 girls. She definitely she doesn't know what to do. She wants to put them in a hostel, and she somehow take care of them. I cannot manage with them. Our kinship care person, our social worker, is able to help and gain the confidence of the mother. Let's see this.
எங்கள் வீட்டுக்கார் டிரைவரு, அவர் ரோடு ஆக்சிடெண்ட்டில் இறந்துட்டாரு. அவர் உடனே இறந்துடணும் தான் ஃபீல் பண்ணேன். 3 பசங்களை வளர்க்க எப்படி போகிறேன்? அப்பா தான் இல்லை, அம்மாவும் இல்லைன்னா பசங்க ரொம்ப இது பண்ணிடுவாங்க. ஏன்னா இப்போ நான் வேலைக்கு போனால் பொட்ட பசங்க 3 காப்பாற்ற முடியாது. என்னால் பாதுகாப்பும் இங்கே இல்லை. அதனால நான் ஹாஸ்டலில் சேர்த்துறேன் சார், என்னால் முடியலன்னு நான் நிறைய பேர்கிட்ட சொல்லியிருந்தேன். வீட்டில் அம்மாவுடைய அரவணைப்பில் இல்லை அப்பாவோட அரவணைப்பில் வளர குழந்தைங்க தான் ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு உணர்வோடு வளரும் அப்படின்ற விஷயத்தை நான் தொடக்கத்தில் பதிவு பண்ணேன். அவங்க எனக்கு ஒத்துழைச்சதுனால தான் இன்றைக்கி 3 பிள்ளைங்களுமே நல்லா படிக்கிறாங்க. நல்ல ஒரு ஸ்கூலில் நம்ம உடனே ஷிஃப்ட் பண்ணோம். இந்த 3 பெண் பிள்ளைங்கன்றது ஒரு 3 பெரிய குடும்பத்துடைய ஒரு வேராக எதிர்காலத்தில் இருப்பாங்க. அதுக்கான ஒரு வேருக்கான ஒரு நீராக இந்த பால மந்திர் நிறுவனம் கின்ஷிப் கேர் ப்ரோக்ராம் இருக்குது. நான் உளப்பூர்வமாக மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன். சொத்தோ பணமோ எல்லாமே போயிடும், ஆனால் படிப்புன்ற ஒரு விஷயம் 3 பசங்களுக்குமே இருந்துச்சுன்னா அது யாருமே எடுத்துக்க முடியாது. நான் இல்லைனாலும் என் பசங்க அந்த படிப்பை வச்சே முன்னேறிக்குவாங்க. BEFORE before, AFTER after.
So the next story is about a village in which education support. There were no schools for girls above 8 years old. So again, the normal course with one mother, she wouldn't have the confidence to deal with outside world and to go against the trend that the girl has to still go for class outside. It is the presence of the Bala Mandir kinship care social worker who pushed her said that the girl cannot stop studying at 8th class. She needs to go to the 9th class. She needs to take care of the thing. And this is the movie all about.
எங்கள் வீட்டுக்காரர் வந்து கொரோனாவில் இறந்துட்டாங்க. எங்கள் ஊரில் 8ஆவதுக்கு மேலே ஸ்கூல் இல்லை. எங்கள் பாப்பா வந்து 8th ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் முடிச்சிட்டா, போதும் படிப்பு, நான் வந்து விவசாய கூலி வேலைக்கு தான் போயிட்டு இருக்கிறதுனால அந்த வேலைக்கே பாப்பாவையும் கூட்டிகிட்டு போயிடலாம், தம்பிக்கு 8th வரைக்கும் அந்த ஸ்கூல்லேயே படிக்க வைக்கலான்னு சொல்லிட்டு பாலா மந்திர் ட்ரஸ்ட்ல இருந்து வானதி வந்து எங்களுக்கு கவுன்சிலிங் கொடுத்து, இல்லை பாப்பாவோடைய ஃபியூச்சரை நீங்கள் பார்த்து நீங்கள் வந்து மறுபடியும் ஸ்கூலுக்கு சேர்த்து விடுங்கக்கா, அதுக்கு என்ன என்னால் பேச முடியுமோ அது எல்லாமே செய்கிறோம், சீட்டு வாங்கி கொடுத்து அதுக்கு குழந்தைங்களுக்கு புக்கு, நோட்ஸு, கைடு எல்லாமே அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணி கொடுத்தாங்க. என் பாப்பாவும் தம்பியும் கராத்தே கிளாஸ் போயிட்டு இருந்தாங்க, அதுக்கும் பேமெண்ட் அவங்க தான் பண்ணாங்க.
ஃப்யூச்சரில் வந்து மனிஷாவுக்கு என்ன எஜுகேஷன், மனிஷா அண்ட் சுதர்ஷன் 2 பேர்த்துக்குமே எஜுகேஷன் வைஸ் என்ன நீட்ஸ் இருக்குது அப்படின்னு சொல்லி பார்த்துட்டு அதுக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி சப்போர்ட் பண்ணலான்னு பிளான் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். தென் அம்மாவுக்குமே கூட ஹெல்த் இஷ்யூ கொஞ்சம் இருக்குது, அதுக்கும் வந்து கொஞ்சம் அரேஞ்ச்மெண்ட்லாம் பண்ணிகிட்ருக்கோம்.
என் ரிலேஷனால் வந்த பிரச்சனைகளையும் சொந்த பத்தத்தால் சுற்றி இருக்கிற சூழ்நிலையினால் வந்த பிரச்சனைகளுக்கும் என் கூட வந்து பாலா மந்திர் ட்ரஸ்ட் வந்து நின்னது எனக்கு ரொம்ப சேஃபாக ஃபீல் ஆச்சு.
This is a slightly different story. This is the story of a father with 3 daughters. And his wife had big aspirations for these daughters. And he had to fulfill these aspirations. And it is the children are already doing well, but they needed to go to the next level. They needed to study. They needed to do. And you'll be interesting. I mean, it's not mentioned there, but we had to ask Niranjan to actually edit out the photograph of the volunteer and the name, but I can mention that to you. The Chief Secretary of Kerala, okay, she is the mentor for this child. And she takes classes every day, twice a week, every week. You can imagine that the children are doing extremely well on that. So there are many such cases of dedicated read a story and or happy reading volunteers who are able to do. She's a retired Kerala government chief secretary, and she's the one who's was originally in the thing, but we didn't want to show the picture of the chief secretary or any volunteer for that matter. We didn't want to show, so that's why it was removed.
ரெண்டாயிரத்தி 20ஆம் ஆண்டு அந்த கோவிட்னால என்னுடைய மனைவி வந்து தவறிட்டாங்க. அப்போது என் மனைவி சொன்ன ஒரே ஒரு வார்த்தை தான், நான் உயிரோடு இருப்பேனான்னு எனக்கு தெரில, பசங்க நம்பி தான் விட்டு போகிறேன், பசங்க நீ நல்லபடியாக படிக்க வச்சு பெரிய ஆளாக ஆக்கணும், அதுதான் அப்படின்ற ஒரு வார்த்தை மட்டும் தெளிவாக சொல்லியிருந்தாங்க. அவள் இறப்பான்னு தெரிஞ்சு அவள் சொல்லிட்டு போன விஷயந்தான் எனக்கு இப்போ வரைக்கும் நான் அந்த 3 பசங்களை வச்சு நான் பார்த்துட்ருக்கேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் சிவா சார் வந்து ஒரு நாள், இல்லை சார் நாங்கள் எங்களால் முடிஞ்ச வரைக்கும் பாலா மந்திரை வந்து நாங்கள் சப்போர்ட் பண்ணுவோம், எங்களால் ஃபீஸ் பே பண்ண முடியும், நீங்கள் வந்து கண்டிப்பாக படிக்க வைங்க பசங்களா அப்படின்னு ஒரு ஓப் பண்ணதுனால இப்போ அதிலிருந்து இப்போ வரைக்குமே சரி பாலா மந்திர் தான் சார் ஃபீஸ் கட்டிகிட்ருக்காங்க. என் பசங்க நல்லா படிச்சுட்ருக்காங்க. பெரிய பொண்ணு தன்ஷிகா வந்துட்டு ஸ்கூல் ஃபஸ்ட்டு, கிளாஸ் ஃபஸ்ட்டு 5th ஸ்டாண்டர்டில். 2வது பிரகஸ்டியும் கிளாஸ் ஃபஸ்ட்டு. 3வது பொண்ணு பிரிஜினாவும் நல்ல ஒரு கமாண்டு, நல்லா படிக்கிறாங்க அப்படின்ட்டு. ஆப்ரேட்டிங் கிளாஸில் வந்துட்டு இல்லை ஒரு கிளாஸ் இருக்குது சார், நாங்கள் கண்டிப்பாக வந்துட்டு பசங்களை மேலே கொண்டு வரலாம் அப்படின்னு இந்த ஆப்ரேட்டிங் கிளாஸை சொல்லி அதிலிருந்து இப்போ வரைக்கும் என் பொண்ணு வந்து நல்லா ஒரு இங்கிலீஷ் growth நல்லாவே இருக்குது.
Rani Lakshmi Bai was one of the bravest freedom fighter of India. She was born on 9th November 1828 in Varanasi.
We all know that in the home, every social worker has to make an individual child plan. Because when it's a home, everybody should not be treated the same. Government mandates it. Now, we do not have such a mandate for kinship care, but while we are doing on scale, we make an individual child plan. And you will see in this particular case that actually the the tutor, I mean, the social worker goes out of the way, finds the right tutor, makes sure that the child gets the right inputs so that the child can start doing very well. So, individual child plan is done for all the children. So, if it's 1,500 children, 1,500 individual child plans are done. It's a very, very decentralized system run with our computer, which is, and there is a review mechanism. Vijay and Raji are here. They are the coordinators who do that. There is a system of, now we have got remote social worker who comes and helps. So there is a whole lot of processes which we have been able to establish over the years.
பையன் ஒரே பையன் தாங்க. மருமக வந்து இத்தனை நாளாக இருந்துட்டு மருந்து குடிச்சு இறந்துருச்சுங்க. அப்புறம் ஒரு வருஷத்தில் பையன் கொரோனாவில் இறந்துட்டான். அப்புறம் எங்களுக்கு யாரும் பார்க்கறதுக்கு ஆள் இல்லை. எதிர்காலமெல்லாம் என்ன எல்லாம் எப்படி வளர்த்துறது, என்ன பண்ணுறது, நம்ம என்ன வழியாக இருக்க போகிறோம் அப்படின்னு தான் நினச்சேங்க. எல்லாம் பல இது நினச்சேங்க. பாலமந்திலேருந்து ஒரு இது கலெக்டர் மூலிமா அங்கே போய் கேட்டு இங்கே வந்து கேட்டு வந்தாங்க. இப்போ வானதிக்கு வந்த கொஞ்சம் டிகிரி இருக்குது, பசங்க படிச்சுக்குவாங்க இனிமேல்.
கொங்குவேலன் சம்பூர்த்தாக்கு வந்து பேசிக்கே இந்த மாதிரி டிஃபிகல்ட்டாக இருக்கறனால ஃபஸ்ட்டு வந்து இந்த ஏரியாவில் யாராவது நமக்கு சொல்லி கொடுக்கறதுக்கு கிடைப்பாங்களா அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி செக் பண்ணோம். அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் வந்து பவித்ராவை வந்து மீட் பண்ணி அவங்க மூலியமாக இந்த குழந்தைக்கு வந்து டியூஷன் வந்து அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணோம்.
பால மந்திர் வந்து 6 monthsக்கு முன்னாடி வந்து கேட்டாங்க என்கிட்ட. தமிழ் அண்ட் இங்கிலீஷ் வீக்லி ட்வைஸ், மொத்தமாக டோட்டல் 4 classes இருக்கும். ரெண்டுமே வந்து ரொம்ப ரொம்ப ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல். ஃபோனட்டிக்ஸ் வந்து ரொம்பவே வந்து ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்குது. இப்போ சடனாக ஒரு வேர்டு கொடுத்துட்டோம் அப்படின்னா அது ப்ரொனவுன்ஸ் பண்ண தரலைனாலும் அந்த வேர்டோட அந்த ஒவ்வொரு லெட்டரோட சவுண்ட்ஸ் வந்து எப்படி வந்து சொல்லணும் அப்படின்றத அவள் ட்ரை பண்ணுறா. அந்த அளவுக்கு வந்து நல்லாவே இம்ப்ரூவ் ஆயிருக்கா. ஸோ அந்த ஸ்டடீஸை வந்து டேக் அவுட் பண்ண போகிறது வந்து பாலமந்திர் ட்ரஸ்ட் வந்து கண்டிப்பாக வந்து ஒரு பெரிய பேக்கப்பாக, ஒரு சப்போர்ட்டாக, பில்லராக வந்து கண்டிப்பாக இருப்பாங்க. அவங்க ஃப்யூச்சரை பற்றி நோ வரிஸ்.
The next aspect is livelihood support. Now we know that financially many of the mothers, because they had these young children, they can't go for work. They have whatever extra earning that they need for their family has to be done from home. So many of the cases we have been able to give them a sewing machine. This is a slightly different case where we have got a grinding machine maavu. So she makes that thing, and I think it will be worthwhile to go through this.
கார் கம்பெனியில் மேனேஜராக இருந்தார். கொரோனா தொற்று வந்து ஆனால் எவ்வளோ முயற்சி பண்ணோம், எங்களால் காப்பாற்ற முடியல.
அண்ணன் பையனுக்கு தான் கல்யாணம் பண்ணி கொடுத்தோம். கொரோனாவில் இறந்துட்டார் அவர். அதுக்கப்புறமா அவங்க மாமியார், அவங்க மச்சனை, அவங்கெல்லாம் யாரும் சேர்க்கலை சார், துரத்தி விட்டுட்டாங்க.
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து பார்த்திங்கன்னா இந்த பசங்க வந்து கவர்மெண்ட் ஸ்கூலில் தான் படிச்சுட்டு இருந்தாங்க. அவங்களுக்கு வந்து ஆங்கிலம் மிகவும் ரொம்ப அவசியன்றதுனால ஹாப்பி ரீடிங் கிளாஸஸ் போட்டு அந்த பசங்களுக்கு வந்து ரெகுலராக வந்து ஒரு வாலண்டியர் வச்சு நம்ம சப்போர்ட் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருந்தோம். நெக்ஸ்ட்டு வந்து ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு ப்ரைவேட் ஸ்கூலில் மாற்றிட்டு அந்த பசங்களோட எஜுகேஷன் சப்போர்ட்டை வந்து பாலமந்திர் வந்து பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிது. ஸோ பாலமந்திர் மூலிமா என்ன சப்போர்ட் பண்ண முடியும்னு செக் பண்ணி பார்த்தோம். ஸோ அந்த பேரண்ட்டுக்கு வந்து மாவு மிஷின் கொடுக்கலாம் அப்படின்ட்டு ஒரு டிசிஷன் எடுத்துகிட்டு அந்த மாவு மிஷினை ப்ரொவைட் பண்ணதுனால இப்போ அந்த பேரண்ட் வந்து அந்த மாவு அரைச்சி விற்றுட்டு ஃபேமிலியும் பார்த்துக்கிறாங்க, ப்ளஸ் அந்த பசங்களோட மிச்சம் இருக்க அகடமிக்ஸ் எக்ஸ்பென்சஸ் அதையும் பார்த்துக்கிறாங்க.
பாலமந்திர ட்ரஸ்ட்லேருந்து மாவு மிஷின் கொடுத்த பிறகு எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் ரொம்ப ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லாக இருந்தது. பாலமந்திர ட்ரஸ்ட்னால கொஞ்சம் ஓரளவுக்கு நிம்மதியாக இருக்கேன். என் பசங்களும் நானும், என் பசங்க நல்லா படிக்கிறாங்க. எனக்கு இந்த வியாபாரத்தினால ஓரளவுக்கு நிம்மதியாக யாரை கையேந்தாமல் சாப்பிட்றதுக்கும் செய்கிறதுக்கும் எல்லாத்துக்கும் நிம்மதியாக கொஞ்சம் சந்தோஷமாக இருக்கேன்.
So this is the last of the slide, this thing. We had 10 videos. We chose 6 of them here. It would be too much to keep going on. This lady actually is working in Bala Mandir as a shadow teacher of our care, in the care organization here. So she was shattered, obviously, and then a lot of things happened. And now she's a confident lady who goes around and she's taking care of all that thing. She comes, she is actually a Vidyalaya shadow teacher.
இந்த உலகத்திலே ரொம்ப பிடிச்ச பர்சன் வந்து என் ஹஸ்பண்ட் தான். அந்த கோவிடால் அவரை காப்பாற்ற முடியாமல் போயிடுச்சு. அதுக்கப்புறம் ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்பட்டோம். வாழவே முடியாது அப்படின்ற சூழ்நிலைலாம் நான் இருந்தேன். பாலமந்திலேருந்து எங்களுக்கு கூப்பிட்டு கவுன்சிலிங்லாம் கொடுத்தாங்க.
கவுன்சிலிங் செஷன்ஸ் இவங்களுக்கு இண்டிவிஜுவலாகவும் நாங்கள் அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணியிருந்தோம். கவுன்சிலர் கூட பேசினதுக்கப்புறம் இவங்க ஒரு சில விஷயங்களை யோசிக்க ஆரம்பித்தாங்க.
பாலமந்திர்னால தான் எனக்கு ஒரு தெளிவுமே கிடைச்சிது. பசங்க நல்லா படிக்கிறாங்க, நல்ல முறையில் நான் வளர்க்குறேன், அதுக்கு தேவையான எல்லா உதவியுமே எனக்கு பாலமந்திர்லேருந்து கிடைக்குது.
இவங்க ஓகேவா வரும்போது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவங்களோட சைல்டு ஐ லாஸ் சம்திங் இன் மை லைஃப் அப்படின்றத அந்த சைல்டு புரிஞ்சுட்டு அந்த ஃபீலிங்ஸ் வெளியே வர ஆரம்பிச்சிடுச்சு. ஸோ மதருக்கு நாங்கள் அந்த சைல்டை எப்படி கைட் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்ற ஒரு கவுன்சிலிங் நாங்கள் கொடுத்தோம்.
ஒவ்வொரு விஷயத்துலையும் எங்களுக்கு ஒரு ஃபேமிலியில் ஒருத்தவங்களா ஒரு உடம்பு சரியில்லைன்னா கூட ஷேர் பண்ணிக்கிறதுக்கு சோஷியல் ஒர்க்கர்ஸ் இருக்காங்க. என் பசங்க வளர்ந்தா பாலமந்திர் அவங்களுடைய வீடு மாதிரி அவங்களும் பாலமந்திருக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுவாங்க. அதுக்குண்டான எல்லா வழிமுறையும் பசங்களுக்கு நான் சொல்லி தான் வளர்க்குறேன்.
Move forward to the more districts. So 7 more districts have been identified, mostly adjoining the current ones what we are doing. Our need is financial and also other support, and so crowdfunding is in India will now become, like what Ravi said, an annual affair, and I think there will be some volunteers who will be getting in, some will be getting out, but some others who have last year taken a break may come in. So I think there will be some amount of rotation of volunteers which will happen. Big thing about volunteers is that, see, we have never done so many receipting in our thing. It was always a very narrow base. Now today we have a very wide base of donors. So we have an approach to a lot of people. Of course there is some overlap, because what happens is we send a direct mailer. You are also trying to approach through your crowdfunding. It's bound to happen. I think it's not something which is, but the whole idea is that at the end of the day, we need to make a progress. We need to support this program. So about 1 crore will definitely come from this. US will generate another 50 lakhs, but just 1,500 children. Yeah, like Ravi was giving me last year, 690 donors contributed at 98.4 lakhs, which is about 14,000 odd rupees per volunteer, out of which 85 was through FAD and 13 lakhs was from direct, what people did. And okay, I'll come to that later. This year, 645 donors, it's little less donors, but we could get about 98 lakhs in India. Another 3 lakhs was Arun Jain. Arun Jain, a very interesting story. Arun Jain his team was the one which actually pushed us to do crowdfunding. He said, Arun Jain is a philanthropist, is a business person here. Many people would know him. He said that you should do crowdfunding. He was convinced, if you do crowdfunding, I'll give you some money. So it's like an incentive he gave us. So last year he gave us, this year also he has given us, because it's like he was convinced that if I give you money and you do crowdfunding, you will generate enough money on that thing. So it was his conviction that enabled us to. So that was the thing. So this year also we have raised that kind of thing. But the interesting thing is our saving, as per what Roy just now sent me, is about 11 lakh rupees in terms of the actual FAD to us. Yeah, so that is a huge plus, because that is a net saving for us. Of course, we have spent some money in terms of development, which will be much smaller than that. So with all that, with 1,500 children, we need 3 crores. So with all that, we are going to be still very much short of what we have. We have also done one thing. out of this money what we have collected, a lot of them we have tried to put it for the next year, for the future. So we moved it to endowment money, some amount of. So all that also reduces our current thing. So our fundraising is not over for the year. So the fundraising will continue. The crowdfunding will be done only once a year. It will be over. We'll continue to send mailers. These 6 will be 6 mailers, which you will get, but you will have to probably just ignore it because you are one of the people who will get that thing. But we will continue to raise because we need to spread the word around, and we need to broad base, we need to make a much larger thing because it's such a good thing to do. I mean, it's such a good thing to do. We are not going to stop at this. We are also going to explore how do we tap other sources. There is a huge source of high net worth individuals which can be tapped. It requires a different kind of an approach. We are working on a couple of ideas on that. We are meeting people on that. There are people who are in the US today. We just made a little bit of crowdfunding effort. Some of them are leading to corporate matching, but that's the first year. Next year, hopefully, there'll be a lot more people in Google and Apple and other places who will be able to take on this thing. There is a volunteering effort which is going to be every hour a volunteer, the company gives us some money. So we are going to explore many other things. So some of them could be a conflicting thing for you in terms of, I'm approaching the same person, you have already sent a mail to him. But it's okay. I mean, I think that is something which we have to live with to some extent because it's a larger cause. This year itself, when I did personally, I found a lot of new people. Even though I thought last year I had contacted everybody. But when you start looking at it, there were many new people, and many of them, I'm sure that many of you will have your own experiences, and we will pass on the mic for all of you to share. But I am sure that our theory that so-and-so is going to give me money is mostly wrong. It is somebody else who will give the money, not the person whom we will target. Because you think he has got a lot of money and he should spare. But it's not always, doesn't work like that. Your heart is different. Your brain is different. So I think there is some people who will open their purses are different from the people who will give. So I think we will discover this as we go forward. We are also tying up with a lot of NGOs like Sharda. Oh, she was not here, is not here. This entire happy reading, including the books, including the gifts given to the children, including whatever is given, 800 volunteers, everything is free for us. It's not charged in this program at all. Everything is free for us. We do pay for some of the things like the KMK and other things, but it is not that the more tie-ups we have, the more people there are. We want to make it a much larger group of people coming together. And the reason I am talking about it is, please spread the word. It's not yourself. I think spread the word with others. Some of these mailers are going to also help us to spread the word. When you get those mailers, forward them to people whom you think is relevant, whom you can contact next year. Because this is a huge positive impact. There is no doubt about it. Bindu will hopefully give us some hard data on what it is going to be. What is the impact? We are doing an impact study with her, and she will give us a very positive data on that thing. With that, we will definitely be able to go back and say, this is the impact. You are given 20,000, it's probably worth 1 lakh. If you go and tell those people, that's a huge return. Now today we cannot say that because we don't know. Doesn't have that kind of information. But we certainly know it's a big multiplier effect. It's not 20,000 impact. The impact which the children find is much more. Now what is that multiplier? I don't know today. Hopefully some scientifically, through all the people will be able to tell us it is between this and this, something like that. So I think we will be able to get that number with that. We'll continue to be at it. We'll continue to be passionate about it. We'll continue to work. Because one thing is, Bala Mandir, today, the Bala Mandir trustees are saying, I don't have the money for this year's budget. But they are telling me, go ahead, grow another 7 more districts. We will see what happens. We don't have money for this year's thing. Okay. So people are saying, no problem. You just go ahead. We know money will come. So that is So our effort is also to make sure that the money comes. Certainly, people joining the program, volunteers. The other thing I forgot to mention is, none of the Happy Reading volunteers have been touched for money. We keep the two separate. We are not approaching them for money. The two people are different. Somebody is volunteering their time. I'm not going to ask them for money. Of course, if you reach to them, they may give it to us. But we are not going to ask for, you now know the condition of those people, give us money. We are not going to do that. We'll still continue with our approach of being more subtle about it, not in your face kind of a thing. But we do need more money for doing this, and we'll continue to put in the efforts to make that thing. So that's what I wanted to talk about. And if there are... Yeah. So what we would like to do is to get you to share your experiences, your comments, your thoughts on suggestions, feedback, everything. So this is...
It gives me a great pleasure that this program that we started maybe just about 3 years back, and now I can say that as secretary, I've talked about it. Your money will come. I think you should send this to Henning. He's very keen on supporting. So I'm just trying to say this is something I think all I can say is that whether it was Kamaraj or Manjuma, I didn't know Kamaraj, but Manjuma, I worked under her before I took charge. And I think she'd have been so happy. Because the moment I remember PN coined the word virtual Bala Mandir, it was just a concept which was beautiful because yes, you were doing exactly that. And you're helping children everywhere. And Amma said children wherever they are, in whatever way, she would always come. And we've done all kinds of help for children, but they came into Bala Mandir. Now we're going out into the world. And I think that's a wonderful way for Bala Mandir to expand. And thank you very much, all the volunteers and all of you who put in all the effort.
So I'll start with Preeti. Come. You came late and you're come. She's one of our top performers.
I'm very humbled by that, sir. Thank you so much. A very good evening to one and all. This was actually a very big surprise the moment he gave the mic to me like this. So it has been two different kinds of experiences for me. Last year, I remember mentioning na Sama Beda Dante Ella Morigala use panna. Ella Maratilla Mangirkena last year. This year was a surprise. He mentioned it. I discussed it with him because when I told him that, it was a surprise that some people whom I approached did not open their purse. And particularly, so I mean, my husband does business, so we are from a business family. So most of them whom I contacted were businessmen. And I think the age group mattered. They were not the 70 pluses. So they were the 40s and 50s. So it took some time for them to say, okay, kudukalama, vendama, abdingra madri. So to my disappointment, I didn't get much out of their pockets. And I breathed this throughout the time, நான் காலம்பரை யாரை கேட்கலாம் எப்படி கேட்கலாம் எந்த மீட்டிங் போகலாம் எந்த டிஸ்கஷன் போகலாம் யாராவது எதாவது கெட் டுகெதர்னு போனால் அங்கே போய் இதே தான் பேசுவேன் எனக்கு my husband said you're obsessed with this. So he said, இனிமே நான் உனக்கு இது கொடுக்க மாட்டேன் அப்படின்னே சொன்னார் அவர் என்கிட்ட. So, it was, I started breathing only this. It was in my mind like that. But yeah, the strategy last year was, it was fresh, so everybody were okay to giving, and this year was slightly different, so I had to approach different people as well. So those who gave big last year did not do it this year, and the salaried class did give a lot. I mean, I was quite impressed with the salaried class, which was a very big surprise to me as well. Last time I started off with a bigger target, but I achieved. So this time, I konja increase panne. So first one, sir, the target la aramichu konja. I think 4 times I increased it because I wanted to ensure that I reach the target, not because of It was not my personal target, it was for Kinship. And after these videos, sir, honestly, yes, I did not go through each of the video, and this brought tears to my eyes. So I'm very, very proud and very, very happy to be a part of this crowdfunding. And all I did was a meritified people. நான் நிறைய பேரை மெரிட்டி தான் வாங்கினேன், நிறைய பேரை வந்து கெஞ்சி கொஞ்சிலாம் வாங்கியிருக்கேன்னா. But this is what I had to do, because to me, in my age group, so I'm 44, and எங்க ஏஜ் குரூப்பில் வந்து this did not, I mean, it didn't just come like that. I had to do a lot of reminding and, cajoling and, a lot of, a lot of talking. நான் இதை விட இன்னும் 10 மடங்கு ஜாஸ்தியாக அவகிட்ட பேசிலாம் வாங்கினேன். So அதனால I had to do all of that, but I'm very happy again that I was a part of such a lovely movement. And I'll think of other strategies for next year, sir, and I'll share it with you too.
You should talk. Thank you. So, okay.
Good evening, everybody. It looks like a promotion from last year. I was not given the mic last year, so I raised more money so that I get the mic this year. Thank you, PN. I think, I don't know what to say. 2-3 learnings. I think fundamentally this work is very close to the heart if you explain it properly. I think that is very important. I was sharing with Ravi and PN also that you can't suddenly land up in December and tell this story and take the money. So I've been telling this story to a group of people for a very long time. The work that came to Krishnagiri, I met the families personally. So everywhere I go, this 300, 400 people, without asking money, I was building a story around them. And finally, when I said, we need money, it came pretty easily. I think I wanted to beat her. Then I realized there are too many people to beat in the race. No, I didn't realize this man would come up so up. Every time I try to come near him, he'd go by 3-4 lakhs. At one point, after 10 lakhs, I think I gave up. I said, I can't fight with him. He's got too much of power. So, but anyhow, that was good. So I think that was the takeaway in all the campaigns that I've run last 15-20 years. If you, my personal experience is if you suddenly go land up and tell them I need money, most of them won't give. One of the person who's very familiar is Raji. I used to take money out of her also. So you have to constantly keep people sensitive about the work. Then it is, I found it very easy. In fact, I ran 2 campaigns at the same time and I raised equal amount in both. One was Kachar Cancer Hospital and one was Bala Mandir. So we were able to raise in both. That is great. And wonderful work that I am with all of you is a great privilege. Thank you for the opportunity.
About your comparative experience. Then we'll come to the new ones, this year only.
Good evening, everybody. I am M. Chandrasekhar. Last year I was a volunteer. This year also, naturally, I got the opportunity to be a volunteer this year also. Thing is, what she was telling, it is very difficult nowadays. I find the younger generation is not that much, of course, as she said, they are not coming out on their own voluntarily. But those who are above 50 plus and all, in my case, most of the people who supported last year, they volunteered this year. Once I sent a message, immediately they responded and send the money also. Okay, therefore that motivation for the younger generation, we have to, what is the effect of this impact and all, we have to take to them. That's the one point I want to tell. And fairly, this year I was very comfortable. The thing is, I was in US at that time. I went to US on 9th. And on 23rd, my mother, she was 88, she had some problem. And my daughter was on the family way. 26th was her, this one. This 3 days, we could not, we are mentally upset what will happen this one. But of course, mother expired after, the child was born on 26th. And the mother expired on 30th. Therefore, we could see the child and come back here. But in spite of that, I was able to, that is, I had set the target only less 1 lakh only, I was able to achieve that. Okay. And it is a great, this is something remarkable. That is, Bala Mandir is there for 75 years. And this program, taking it to covering a wide section of this one is a very laudable effort by Natarajan and team. It's a great effort. But one thing, a few suggestions I want to make, 1 or 2 things. Thing is, private, we are doing, the thing is, all, whatever this one, especially private only cannot do all the things. And same way, government also cannot do all the things. Therefore, there should be an interaction of government and private, this one merger of to taking these large projects. And I read, I also shared with him, some government, central government is giving some 4,000 rupees for the children. I didn't go much this one. But anyhow, we can have engaged somebody who has got influence with the government, who will be able to do a PRO job, something like that. And if you engage them, wherever possible, wherever this 4,000 rupees I read, if it is possible to get that money, so that we can put forth our effort to the other children who will not be able to get that. That aspect we can consider. Another one is we are educating all the people, everything educating. But the thing is, in over a period of time, there should not be, whoever is studying, they should not expect only I will do this job. Like that, it should not happen. We should educate any job, everyone should be able to accept it. Because if you go and see so many shops and all, tailors, I want, restaurants, everywhere they are putting the board, I want, I want, I want. Therefore, people go only for once they study, I will do only these jobs, some sort of this one. But here, I don't do any manual jobs, I don't do vessel cleaning and all. But once I go to US, it is my job allocated in the family, because you cannot find anyone to find that. You have to do it, necessarily you have to do it. That way, we have to, the thing is, the society should be made in such a manner, there should not be any discretion. Once I study, I will do only this job. Vocational training has put lot of efforts, but the people bringing that is a very big challenge. I have noticed. I think now also it's the same. Close rate, okay. Therefore, that sort of this one, these volunteers and all, they should make an impact on the society, that all the jobs is important for this country, and everyone should take up whatever the jobs they are capable of. This, I think, I thought I can share. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, see, actually, the experience this year has been different because my donors were not the same. Most of them were different this year. And when I approached for a second time this year, it was a kind of a half-hearted things which I did not pursue later. No samabeda dana dandam, enak bayam. So, and, but when I approached, I think I was better equipped this time to tell the story properly. So when I spoke to the people who were my friends, they accepted it beautifully. Some of them were very, very moved by the whole thing, and they, contributed. Whatever little they could, they did contribute. And also what PN said about, we sending out mailers. Many of my, people who could have given again had already sent in the money because the mailer had gone out from Bala Mandir reminding that, okay, last year you had given, would you like to contribute this year too? So that, again, Bala Mandir is the gainer. I may not have been directly involved in the, of course, donation, so I was involved. So, but then, if it was a very, very important thing that the Bala Mandir gained by that, because people repeated their donation, and it is likely that something else is also in the pipeline as far as I'm concerned, so I'm very happy with whatever I did. So,
my name is also Natarajan. I am S. Natarajan. So I am an average performer, but I am very happy. See, I worked for satisfaction, not for any recognition. So this I will do it for my own satisfaction because I want to be happy. So I just did through whatever tips PN gave me, and it worked. But only 10 people they could give me the money, and I touched my target of 1 lakh and a little more than that. Least being 500 and the maximum being 50,000. So this time I don't want to have that risk, so I will contact more people. So this is what I will do. And I was a teacher, so I need notes and all that. So I've taken some notes. So one question, I want to appreciate PN and Ravi for the leadership they are providing. They are just showing the way by doing. That is what I like it. They are not just saying, okay, do that, do that. I mean, they are not just managing, they are leading. Real leadership, and it is working very well. So few things I want to share is, PN was telling that the number of volunteers have in fact come down. So I think the generation of donation has to do something with the number of volunteers. So as volunteers, we know what we have done. So each one of us, if we can get one more volunteer, we can just double it. Is it not? So I think we must try and influence. I mean, at least we have few people, we can influence at least one person. So in which case it will double. So that is one thing. And why only private schools for the students? I mean, why not government schools? See, I studied in government schools only, government colleges only. So it is not that government schools are bad or anything. There are a lot of government schools where I see dedicated teachers. In Valicheri, where I stay, in the apartment, there are some teachers, and they are very good teachers with good service motive and all that. So I do not know why we should avoid government schools. I do not know.
Avoiding.
Okay. Okay.
I'll brief.
And another thing is CSR also donates a fund. So why don't we reach companies, because we will get a large volume of money. See, individuals from their pocket they have to give, but companies they have just earmarked something. So when we go to companies and provide whatever information they require, we can generate definitely more funds. Sure. So there is a lot of scope. That is what I would say. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Just to clarify a few things. One is, we are very much in the government schools. About 25-30% of our children are in government schools. It so happens that when a person dies and the child is in a private school, the need is very urgent. So maybe they contact us or whatever. And the number of children overall in private schools are probably higher. We are not choosing because of the type of school. So the school is, a lot of them are government school. In fact, some of those children who are featured in this are in government school. So that's the first one. The number of volunteers have not come down. It's the same. The number of donors have come down. So from 690 to 645, about 40-50 donors have come down. Number of donors have come down, volunteers have not come down. Of course, it's another matter that some of our donors, our volunteers could not get started. So net it had probably been less in that, but donors had not. We were expecting more volunteers this year. We had actually thought that we will have at least 10 more, if not more, but we had a lot of last minute cancellation. Hopefully some of these mailers, like what Murali was saying, we can't just approach towards the end. I think even if the mailers don't do anything, doesn't get money, it will build a story so that somebody will be willing to be a volunteer for the next thing. So hopefully that should happen. Third thing is, CSR is very much in. As of date, we have collected 170 lakhs totally. Balance is all CSR. So it's not that we are in dire states on that. This is the money which we are talking about as what we have collected through this fundraising. Okay? So it is being done, but it is not enough. I mean, there is still more to be done. That's all. Yeah.
Did my best this time, and it wasn't to much avail, but a lot of mistakes I think I made was not in persevering and making the calls as, you know, the Zoom call that we had. So I just realized that the mistakes I made is because I wasn't persevering, and I tried to only chase a few people whom I thought would help out. So I just learned a lesson. It was an eye-opener for me. And also, yes, as PN said, you have to dedicate that much of time every day, which I did not do. So next time around, PN, I hope I'll meet my target, okay? So this is it. And so I just learned a few lessons as to what not to do. So next time, hopefully, I will do what all of you have done and hopefully raise more funds. Thank you.
Thank you, Lata. She's our longest standing executive committee member. So she's next year, I'm expecting definitely that she would do. Keshi wanted this to continue way beyond the things. I wanted him to talk. He was the one who was not at all happy that we finished. We said we should continue.
Yeah, just wanted to suggest extend it round the year. Why have it only for 1 month or so? The other problem I faced is some people in USA, the NRIs, they have US passports, but they were somehow donating through Indian this thing. I don't know how it affects. Okay.
So this whole issue of it's worth explaining once again, even though you may be aware of it. A lot of people, US citizens, have got an NRO account because they got some sources of money in India, some rent they are receiving, some old money is there. So they are all filing returns. So they've got a PAN number. They normally have an Aadhaar number also. So everything is there in that thing, but they are a US citizen. Unfortunately, the law says that as a US citizen, they can transfer any money to you, any of the other, they can do any other transaction. They cannot give it to a NGO. This is a problem. So when you give it to NGO, it has to be in the foreign account, which is FCRA account. It cannot be given to the local account. It can only be given to the State Bank of India, Delhi account. There again, the problem is they will not accept a bank transfer. If it's bank transfer, for them it doesn't matter whether it's this or that account. You'll have to issue a check. This person is sitting in the US. How will he issue a check? How will we receive it? And they have to give a copy of their passport. Many of them are worried about giving a copy of the passport. Why should I give my copy of my passport? So there are so many things which are... So this is unfortunately a problem which is there. So NRO account, very, very legal. All IT filed, proper everything. But unfortunately, for NGOs, it is a problem. I hope that is understood. That's the only problem which we are not able to build it into our system. Because that's something which is a very complicated thing to do. So if you are an Indian citizen, which is normally Middle East, everybody is an Indian citizen, no problem at all. They can transfer. Because you are an Indian citizen, you can be a permanent resident. It's a Singapore permanent resident, no problem. Indian citizen. As long as you are a foreign citizen, you can only transfer money to a FCRA account, which is in Delhi. That is the problem. And that is too many problems, because we all know what all are the thing. This comes directly under Home Ministry, and this directly Amit Shah supervises this. So I think there's no way you can do anything. There's no discretion in this. So online transfer from abroad to SBI is possible. But India, NRO money. See, US dollar, no problem. US dollar from US to this thing. The problem is, I have some rent which I have collected, or somebody has given me something, I have an NRO account, I'm filing returns regularly. So I'm completely tax compliant. Okay, I want to give that money to Bala Mandir. You can't give it so easily. You can give it, but you have to issue a check. But people are not here to issue a check. They are in US. How will they issue a check? And so these are the problems which are there, which unfortunately is only for NRO, only for NGO, and that too for this kind of a thing. Because we are a FCRA account. It's just a default. We have been trying to write to those people saying it doesn't make sense, but somehow we are not able to change it. Anybody else would like to? share your. We had to, in fact, he's got, if you really listen to the 3-minute versions, you'll have even more emotion. I saw a lot of people were kind of were emotional about it. If you look at the longer version of it, it's even better in many ways. But we wanted it 1 minute. We wanted it to be not more than 1 minute or 1.5 minutes. So that's how it's a abridged version.
So actually we have several hours of footage.
Yeah.
It was a huge effort to bring it down to 1 minute. So basically, for most of us, COVID is just a bad memory. So we just moved on from that. But when I went and saw these people, I realized that it's left behind such a devastating impact on so many people, which is something I was never aware of. I thought it's all over, it's a bad memory. So it's been such an awareness, revelation for me that people are still suffering so much. And I saw it firsthand. It was a very deep impact. So I think it's a wonderful job. It's great to be part of this, and it's a great opportunity. And I hope to keep doing more and get more people.
They were really moving.
Thank you.
So now we.
Okay. So a lot of jumping happened because we had to cut and so much.
No, because it had to be reduced to 1 minute. So this is little bit more than 1 minute, but we kind of said okay. So, our plan is to, over the next 6 months or so, try to spaced out mailers, giving one video at a time of this with some small note, not a very large note. The idea being to engage with the people, and then when we go back either by the annual thing or even before, we may be able to engage. So even if you have a mailing list, Lata, maybe, so you can probably give us a mailing list, so which we can probably send it to people. So I think we'll even that would help in terms of the mailing list and the thing. So that is our next step, is to actually do that thing. Of course, we have a big task ahead. She has to write all the profiles and send it to all the donors. Anybody who has given 10,000 and above gets a profile. 10,000 is half 6 months of that. 20,000 is for a 1 full year of a child. So the profiles last year was also sent. This year again we will be sending the profile. Another thing, see this 20,000, what Ravi was highlighting, 20,000 looks like it's not a large when you look at fees alone. We pay up to 17,500 in fees. So if somebody is paying 30,000 fees, we pay 17,500. We are able to, the overall average comes down because of the government school. See, government school we don't pay anything. So our average comes down to 14,000. If you see your sheet, it will say it's the average is 14,000 per child. Then there are some children who are not yet in school. So there are babies. We count all of them as children. So some of them are still not in school. So the average comes down. That's how we are able to keep the cost to that 20,000. Otherwise we pay up to 17,500 as fees. Yeah, we have our social worker travels 100, 120, 150 kilometers per day on an average. So every day they are traveling, that kind of a thing. So there's a big travel which happens with the social workers. And now we are having remote social worker and regular social worker covering the same place. We are adding a lot of these. We also do mobile top-up now. So because most of our services tend to be through mobile. So we are having a mobile top-up scheme so that what we found out was the children were not attending class because the top-up is over, or I don't have the charge, whatever. Recharging is not yet done. So we started the mobile top-up. So a lot of mobile top-up is now happening. Almost everybody is getting a mobile top-up. So because most of our way of helping the children is online. Everything is online. So that gives us in a way power. We can say that no, you cannot skip the class. So we are just removing every reason to skip the class. The children will find, or the mothers will have. Now there is a challenge of how to deal with this tuition. This tuition is an evening engagement, very often not leading to any value addition, but that is coming in our way for some of our so we have to deal with it now. Yeah, no, the mother, huh? Okay.
Only hats off to you and your team and our team for what work you're doing.
So we have one donor from US who's present here. He's visiting us. So it so happens that he's here. So he's the... No, that's okay. That's fine. I don't want to... Yeah. But he's visiting us and he was nice enough. I mean, he said, I would like... she invited him and then I think he was... So that's good. So we have a group of people. So, okay. We'll do that. Our girls. They play the Bala Mandir anthem followed by the national anthem. So we just wanted to thank everybody for being here. Special thanks to the high school girls. Inniki, something different about Bala Mandir you learnt? Girls. Pudusada kathinila inniki Bala Mandir patti. So because it's a different aspect of Bala Mandir. Inga paakradilla. Nariya kulandalam valila irukanga. So I hope you heard that. They of course helped us with our thing. Special thanks to Subramaniam and Sriram for helping in this thing. And of course Sangeeta and group to also for all their help. So thank you very much. Yeah, and the videographer for thank you.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा चञ्चल जलधितरङ्गा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।